Hello everyone, Ken here, and today we'll be going over the CODA BASSOCYST. You can get this at Eleanor for 10 live heart cells, and you get those from killing your lich, and after you kill your lich, it'll drop in between 10 to 15, at least from what I've seen. So, without any further ado, let's kind of get into what this weapon does, and then we'll go over um, some perks. So, you can see here that this alt fire, this is the alt fire by the way, applies like little face huggers to them and does status effects. So that is what your alt fire will be doing, and the primary fire is kind of like an ARCA PLASMOR, and it fires like plasma looking shots, and it does that in a radius. So let's go over what it actually is doing. So the unique trait for the alt fire is that whenever you do your alt fire, it sends out little projectiles that attach to targets, and it infects them and applies impact and status over time. So 1 tick per second is what it seems like. And then when those enemies get low enough, you can actually stand about 10 meters away, and then you can alt fire again, and then you can teleport to them and mercy kill them. So pretty good, pretty unique. So now let's go over some of the stats. So base crit chance, you have 18 crit chance, pretty low. Crit multiplier, 2.2 in the middle. And then you have status, which is very high at a 40%. And then you have your radiation, blast, and heat. And these all contain heat, which is kind of unheard of if you choose heat. But even radiation and blast being innate on one weapon is kind of unique. So I did choose a heat bonus, and to get this to change to a heat bonus, because whenever you buy from Eleanor, you get a magnetic bonus, you have to rank it all the way up to rank 40, and then you can freely change as you want to. So I can just change to cold if I want to, and I can change back to magnetic if I please. So for this build, we will be using heat. Now, getting into the actual build, I have a heat and viral build along with the radiation blast that it comes with. So you want to use frigid blast and toxic barrage for your viral, and then I have laser sight, and this laser sight is just basically for crit chance. You can use this as a flex slot. You can put a ribbon in this slot. I have a ribbon for it, or you can put really anything that you want. It's just, kind of to play around with, see what you like. Then you have galvanized hell. This increases your multi-shot. Critical deceleration. This increases your crit chance even more. And galvanized Selby. So I want to talk about galvanized Selby for a second, because you have plus 80% status chance, but you also have on kill, you get plus 40% direct damage per status type affecting the target. And this stacks up to 2 times. So you would get 80% for every direct, or for every status chance affecting the target. So we have radiation, blast, heat, and viral over here. And say you hit him with the alt fire first, you will be adding impact and magnetic to that. So you have 6 in total and status procs, hitting this target. Whenever you add that up, you get 480%. As long as you get those 2 kills first, you get 480%, which is actually insane, and that's how much more damage you're getting on that target. So now, moving on, we have Primed Ravage, and this is for crit damage, and Vigilante Ornaments, and this is for multi-shot, and this can also be used as a flex slot, but I like it because the 20% chance to enhance critical hits, and enhance critical hits. So what that does is, if you have yellow crits, it's going to take it to an orange crit. If you have an orange crit, it's going to take it to a red crit. So very nice. And then our last mod that we have here is Galvanized Acceleration, and this just increases the projectile speed and the length. So this is good for the alt fire, because the alt fire actually does have a cutoff to it. But if you get these 2 kills and you get which you get base, so plus 30 beam length, and then plus the 2 kills, you get plus 60. So add that all up, and it's 90 projectile length. And then that plays into the alt fire, so you can shoot it from pretty far. So without any further ado, let's kind of get into how the build is going to work and how much damage the weapon does. So first we're going to apply the alt fire and then shoot with the primary. And you can see it chunks. And we don't even have any stacks yet, so don't get too judgy yet. So we're going to do the same thing again. Apply some status. And you can see this does have punch through. And it also does have that blast innate. So look, that blast just immediately killed him. So you're also getting AoE with also having a wide range. So it is very good. And with that being said, I will show you how far, see, these projectiles can reach now. But if you wait for your stacks to go down for the actual acceleration, you can see I can't fire from here anymore. So it's very good for if you want to fire from long range. Now, also some other, good synergies are mag. And mag is really synergizable with ARCA PLASMOR, but she is very synergizable with this as well. So go ahead and put a bubble on. You can see that was with no stacks. So I'm going to actually pop roar, and then in that bubble you can see that does a lot of damage. So that's a very good synergy, and with max stacks does a lot of damage. But without any of all that I had on my Nova Prom, I didn't have anything extra on, so I would definitely consider this a contender to the ARCA PLASMOR. But with that being said, and the build being shown and how it works and all, I will hop into a conjunction survival to show you, how it works in actual gameplay, because as we all know, the simulacrum does not simulate real gameplay. So I will see you all in the conjunction survival. Alright, so here we are in the conjunction survival, and I would like to tell you that I don't have anything, external buffing my damage, so this will be raw damage, of course. The only thing I do have is my Cavat that will be giving me a 1.2 times crit damage multiplier, but I'm pretty sure a majority of people run a Cavat with Tenacious Bond, I believe it's called, and he's also giving me a fire rate bonus. So I would recommend getting that. It's not like it takes crazy investment to get, so I just decided I would keep it on for this, because it's not really going to change, drastically, but a lot of people use it anyway. So, but this is definitely a great gun, and it could just be me, but I really enjoy it. It's really unique in its own way, so that's the weapons that I really like. And you can see that whenever you do apply these face hugger things, they do damage. They do a lot of damage too. Like, look at that. That's all just from the face hugger, that 50,000. So if I just use the alt fire here, that's all I'm going to use for now. Look at this. I don't even have to aim. So very good for exterminations, but you can see there I accidentally did a finisher. So that's the only thing if you're going to spam the alt fire. But regardless, you can just clear out everything like right here. So very good for low-level extermination missions, because it does a lot of damage, or even mid-level. And I think that's why I also like it so much, is because it's hard hitting and it has crowd control. And then if you hit it. So I didn't mention that this alt fire also has blast. So whenever you do alt fire, you're getting impact, you're getting magnetic. I think you also proc your, like, what you have on the weapon, so like your viral and heat, for in this example. And that's like what, 5 elements or something like that. And then, you know, that plays into what you have. So really all you're getting is the plus impact from what I had already initially kind of stated. But that also does play into your direct damage. So just make sure you're priming, if you're going up against a big ad, just make sure you're priming with your alt fire, and then boom, just like that, 600,000 damage, you know, just on a trash ad. But I also do like the reticle. See 4 million right there, so I didn't even prime him. And also I will not be using Zada's Whisper during this test, but I'm just gonna go till the Acolyte shows up, till 5 minutes, basically, and kind of see. So if you want to, you can put on Avenger. And I think this thing could maybe hit red crits, but I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't unless you get a Ribbon as well. But it does have a low Ribbon disposition, low as possible, so that is also a downside. So I'm going to prime this Acolyte. And wow, that actually does a lot of damage. Wow. I was not really expecting, and this is Ribbonless. I was not expecting that whatsoever. Oh, wow. So it kind of, wow, kind of makes it even better. You can see that it takes down the Acolytes pretty easily. This isn't only a solo mission, but
they know you're here. Prepare.
I think it would do pretty good in a 4-man squad as well. But overall, very solid weapon. I think this is one of my favorite weapons, one of my favorite primaries at the moment. Of course, ARCA PLASMOR is still good, but for me, this is gonna dethrone it. It really is. But maybe not for you guys. Let me know. Let me know if you think this is better, or if you think the ARCA PLASMOR still takes it. The only thing that I do want to note is that sometimes you get electric procs, and I'm not really sure what that's from.
But
I don't really know what's really causing electricity.
boy,
Like, let me show you here before I go to extraction.
they will drain your life support unless they are destroyed.
Right there was electricity proc. I can't really show because they're dying so fast. But if you guys use it for yourself, you will see that there's electricity procs, and I'm not really sure where that comes from. Just thought it was magnetic, like it stated in Impact.
If you have a necromech, this
But overall, this weapon, I would have to give it a 10 out of 10. I could just be biased because I really enjoy the weapon, but I'm going to have to give it a 10 out of 10. Really unique, does a lot of damage, has a also unique alt fire, can prime, you know, and you can also use it for those annoying bounties in 1999 where you have to get the mercy finishers. So that gives a 0.1%. So we'll say a 10.1 out of 10 just because of that. So this is my review of the CODA BASSOCYST, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be doing more reviews over the other weapons and previous weapons that were in the rotation. So make sure you like and subscribe and stick around for that if you want to see those. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all later.